The unexpected teacher. The gleaming medical bay of Station Asteria stretched before Dr. Maya Chen as she stepped through the airlock. Polished surfaces reflected the soft blue ambient lighting, and diagnostic equipment hummed with a barely perceptible vibration. After 6 months of rigorous preparation and diplomatic negotiations, she had finally arrived at the most advanced medical facility in the Orion cluster, the first human physician to be granted this privilege. Dr. Chen, welcome to Asteria. I am Chief Medical Director Zolvex. The Arcturian's voice was melodic, emanating from somewhere beneath the collar of his shimmering medical uniform. His 4 arms moved in graceful synchronization as he guided her further into the facility. We have prepared your quarters according to human biological requirements. Maya nodded, struggling to maintain her professional composure while her mind raced with excitement and apprehension. Thank you, Director. I'm honored to be here and eager to begin our knowledge exchange. Yes, knowledge exchange. Zalvex's compound eyes flickered with what Maya interpreted as skepticism, though I must remind you that our medical technologies are centuries beyond Earth's development. Your presence here is primarily to satisfy the Galactic Council's mandates for inclusive species representation. And there it was, the condescension she had been warned about. 6 different species staffed Station Asteria, and humans were by far the newest to join the galactic community. Earth had only achieved faster-than-light travel 30 years ago, making them infants in interstellar terms. I understand, Maya replied evenly. But sometimes fresh perspectives can be valuable, even to advanced practitioners. The Arcturian made a clicking sound that Maya's translator didn't bother to interpret. Your orientation begins tomorrow. Rest well, Doctor. Maya's quarters were luxurious by Earth standards, though designed with alien aesthetics that made everything feel slightly off. The bed too firm, the lighting slightly too blue, the ambient temperature a few degrees too cool. She unpacked her personal medical kit, a collection of basic tools and supplies she'd insisted on bringing despite being told repeatedly that Asteria would provide everything she needed. Morning arrived with a soft chime, and Maya reported to the medical bay for orientation. A Novan medical officer, a species resembling humanoid jellyfish with translucent skin, guided her through the facility. This is primary surgery, the Novan explained, gesturing with a rippling appendage toward a chamber where medical drones hovered over diagnostic beds. Our patients are scanned automatically upon entry, and treatment protocols are generated within 0.3 seconds. The survival rate is 99.8% for all known species. Impressive, Maya admitted. But what about cases that fall outside standard protocols? The Novan's bioluminescent patterns flickered briefly. The system contains 18.7 million distinct treatment algorithms and updates continuously. There are no cases outside its parameters. Maya bit back a response. Her 10 years in emergency medicine on Earth had taught her that no system, however sophisticated, could anticipate every possible medical scenario. Their tour continued through specialized treatment areas, research laboratories, and recovery chambers, each more advanced than anything on Earth, and each operated with minimal direct intervention from the medical staff. And this is your station, the Novan eventually said, indicating a small monitoring desk in a corner of the general treatment area. You will observe and learn our methods. In time, you may be permitted to assist with human patients. Maya frowned. I was under the impression I would be practicing medicine, not just observing. You misunderstood. Asteria's systems do not require human medical techniques. Before Maya could protest, an alarm sounded, 3 short pulses followed by a sustained tone. The Novan's entire body flashed bright blue. Emergency protocol activated. Level 3 trauma team to Dock 7. Maya followed as medical staff rushed toward the emergency. A cargo vessel had suffered a catastrophic system failure while docking, and several crew members were injured. The patients were being transported directly to primary surgery. 3 Tellurians, a species with silicon-based biology, and one Vexari, a reptilian humanoid. Director Zolvex appeared, coordinating the response with measured efficiency. Full diagnostic scans initiated. Trauma protocols engage. Maya watched as the injured were placed on treatment beds. Hovering medical drones scanned their bodies, and holographic displays filled with biological data. The Tellurians were quickly stabilized, their silicon-based physiologies responding well to the automated treatments. But the Vexari was different. The patient, a female with iridescent scales now dulled by injury, wasn't responding to the programmed interventions. The medical drones hovered uncertainly as her vital signs continued to deteriorate. Increasing molecular cohesion stimulators, ordered Zolvex. Apply secondary cardiovascular support protocol. The drones adjusted, applying different treatment modalities, but the Vexari's condition worsened. Director, Maya said, stepping forward. May I examine the patient? Zolvex's compound eyes swiveled toward her. This is not the time for human observation, Dr. Chen. With respect, Director, your protocols aren't working. I might see something your systems are missing. A tense moment passed before Zolvex stepped aside. Quickly, Maya approached the Vexari patient. She had studied cynobiology extensively in preparation for this assignment, but theoretical knowledge was different from practical experience. Still, medicine was medicine, regardless of species. She looked at the holographic displays, noting the Vexari's plummeting blood pressure, erratic heart rate, and failing respiratory function. But it was something else that caught her attention, a subtle discoloration along the patient's neck that the scanners hadn't flagged. Director, has your system accounted for possible allergic reaction? Zolvex made that untranslatable clicking sound again. The probability matrix indicates a 0.02% chance of anaphylaxis. It is proceeding with trauma protocols as priority. Maya leaned closer, examining the spreading discoloration. I think your system is wrong. This looks like anaphylactic shock. She reached for her personal medical kit. I need to administer epinephrine, or whatever the Vexari equivalent is. That is not possible, the Novan interjected. Treatment must follow established protocols. The Vexari's vitals dropped further. She's dying, Maya insisted. Your protocols aren't working because they're addressing the wrong problem. Zolvex hesitated, his forearms moving in an agitated pattern. The system indicates. Forget the system, Maya interrupted. Look at the patient. Those scale patterns indicate a histamine response. Her airway is closing. The monitoring equipment emitted a warning tone as the Vexari's oxygen levels plummeted. I need authorization to treat, Maya demanded. Zolvex's compound eyes flickered rapidly, and then he nodded. Proceed. Maya turned to the Novan. I need an antihistamine compound compatible with Vexari physiology. The Novan hesitated but then floated to a dispensary unit, returning with a vial of iridescent fluid. Maya loaded it into an injector and administered it at the junction of the Vexari's neck and shoulder, where blood vessels were closest to the surface. For several tense seconds, nothing happened. Then, gradually, the discoloration began to recede. The Vexari's vital signs stabilized, then improved. Implementing supportive measures, Maya directed, now taking full control of the situation. Oxygen supplementation and intravenous fluids to counteract shock. The medical drones, responding to Zolvex's silent commands, complied with her instructions. Within minutes, the Vexari was stable. How did you identify the anaphylaxis when our systems did not? Zolvex asked. Maya gestured to the patient. Your scanners were focused on the trauma, the obvious injuries, but I was looking at the whole patient. Sometimes the most critical issue isn't the most visible one. Zolvex studied her for a long moment. Perhaps there is more to learn from human medicine than I anticipated. Maya nodded, feeling a small victory for humanity in the vast, advanced universe. Medicine isn't just about technology, Director. It's about seeing the patient, not just the data. As the emergency subsided and the Vexari was moved to recovery, Maya became aware of the other medical staff watching her with new interest. She had come to learn from them, but perhaps they had something to learn from her as well. That night, as Maya recorded the day's events in her personal log, she reflected on the significance of what had happened. Technology, no matter how advanced, could never fully replace the intuition and observation skills of a trained physician. It was a uniquely human contribution to bring to this advanced interstellar medical facility, a reminder that progress wasn't always about more sophisticated machines, but sometimes about the fundamental connection between healer and patient. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but for now, she had earned her place on Station Asteria, not as an observer, but as a physician with valuable skills to contribute. A universal language of healing. Word spread quickly through Station Asteria about the human doctor who had saved a Vexari patient when the advanced medical systems had failed. Maya found herself the subject of curious stares and whispered conversations as she made her rounds the following day. Dr. Chen called Director Zolvex as she entered the medical bay. "A moment of your time." Maya approached, expecting a reprimand for her unorthodox intervention the previous day. Instead, the Arcturian gestured to a small group of medical staff gathered around a holographic display. "I would like you to explain your diagnostic process regarding yesterday's emergency," Zolvex said. "These practitioners have expressed interest in your methodology." Maya blinked in surprise. "Of course." For the next hour, she described her approach to diagnosis, the importance of visual observation, the integration of multiple symptoms into a coherent picture, and the role of medical intuition developed through years of hands-on experience. The alien physicians listened attentively, occasionally interrupting with questions that revealed their struggle to understand a process that wasn't entirely quantifiable. "But how can you be certain without a complete molecular analysis?" asked a Tellurian physician, his crystalline features refracting the light as he tilted his head. "Sometimes you can't be completely certain," Maya admitted. "Medicine often involves making the best decision with incomplete information, especially in emergency situations." "Inefficient," murmured a Novan. "Prone to error." "Yes," Maya agreed, surprising them. "Human medicine is imperfect, but it's adaptable in ways that purely algorithmic approaches aren't. When facing the unknown, adaptability can mean the difference between life and death." Over the following weeks, Maya's role at Station Asteria evolved. While she continued to learn about the advanced technologies and treatment protocols, she also began conducting informal seminars on human diagnostic techniques. Some alien physicians dismissed her methods as primitive, but others, particularly those who had witnessed her success with the Vexari patient, were more receptive. Director Zalvex, to Maya's surprise, became one of her most attentive students. "Your techniques remind me of ancient Arcturian healing practices," he confided one day. "Before we became so dependent on technology, there is wisdom in them that I had forgotten." Maya helped integrate her approach into the station's protocols, not replacing the advanced technologies but complementing them with human intuition and observational skills. Progress was slow but steady. Then, 3 months into her assignment, disaster struck. The station's proximity alert blared as Maya was conducting a seminar on wound assessment. "All medical personnel to emergency stations," announced the automated system. "Incoming mass casualty event." Maya rushed to the medical bay, where controlled chaos had erupted. "What's happening?" she asked a passing Novan. "Mining accident on Proxima IV," the Novan replied, body pulsing with agitated bioluminescence. "Multiple species affected. Severe traumatic injuries and unknown toxic exposures." Director Zalvex appeared, all 4 arms in constant motion, as he coordinated the response. "Dr. Chen, we will need your expertise. The situation exceeds our standard protocols." The first patients arrived minutes later. Miners with injuries ranging from crushing trauma to chemical burns to respiratory distress from toxic exposure. The advanced systems of Station Asteria were overwhelmed by the volume and variety of cases. "The diagnostic system is failing to prioritize effectively," reported a Tellurian physician. Too many variables. Maya stepped forward. We need to triage manually. Visually assess each patient and categorize by severity and treatment urgency. Zalvex hesitated only briefly before nodding. Implement Dr. Chen's recommendation. All physicians begin manual assessment. The medical bay transformed as the staff, many inexperienced with hands-on diagnosis, began examining patients directly rather than relying solely on scanner data. Maya moved among them, guiding their observations, helping them see beyond the readings to the patients themselves. Look at the skin color around the wound. She instructed a Novan treating the human minor. That discoloration indicates tissue necrosis that the scanners might miss. To a Tellurian physician struggling with a Vexeri patient, feel the texture of those scales. The roughness suggests dehydration more severe than the readings show. As the crisis continued, Maya found herself at the center of a remarkable integration of approaches. The advanced technology of Station Asteria provided critical data and treatment capabilities, while the newly applied human medical techniques guided their application with nuance and adaptability that the systems alone couldn't match. Hours passed in a blur of activity. Maya treated patients, guided her alien colleagues, and coordinated with Zalvex to modify treatment protocols on the fly. When standard treatments failed, she improvised alternatives, teaching the others to do the same. A draconian miner arrived with severe respiratory distress from toxic gas exposure. The treatment algorithms recommended a standard pulmonary flush, but Maya noticed subtle signs that indicated a different approach was needed. His secondary breathing structures are still functioning. She pointed out to Zalvex, if we bypass the primary respiratory system entirely and oxygenate through the auxiliaries, we can give the primary system time to heal naturally. That contradicts established protocol, Zalvex noted, but without his earlier dismissiveness. The protocol doesn't account for the specific way this toxin is binding to the lung tissue, Maya explained. Sometimes we need to work with the body rather than override it. Zalvex considered, then nodded. Show me. Together, they modified the treatment approach, combining the station's advanced oxygenation technology with Maya's understanding of respiratory physiology across species. The draconian stabilized, then began to improve. Similar scenes played out across the medical bay as the crisis gradually came under control. The final tally was remarkable. Of the 67 miners brought to Station Asteria, 65 survived, a success rate that exceeded even the station's impressive statistics for standard emergencies. In the aftermath, as the medical staff recovered from their exhaustion, Director Zalvex called them together. Today has demonstrated something significant, he announced, his normally formal demeanor softened by fatigue and perhaps a new humility. Our technological achievements are remarkable, but they are not sufficient alone. The integration of Dr. Chen's human medical approaches with our advanced systems produced results that neither could have achieved independently. Maya felt a surge of pride, not just for herself but for humanity. In a universe where Earth was considered a backwater world with primitive technology, she had proven that humans still had valuable contributions to make. Moving forward, Zalvex continued, Station Asteria will implement a new training program. All medical staff will learn both our technological protocols and the observational and intuitive techniques that Dr. Chen has introduced. We will create a truly integrated medical practice that draws on the strengths of all our approaches. The announcement was met with murmurs of approval from most of the staff. Some still looked skeptical, but the results of the day's work were difficult to argue with. Later, as Maya finally returned to her quarters, exhausted but satisfied, her communication terminal chimed with an incoming message from Earth's Interstellar Medical Corps. Dr. Chen, began the recorded message from the Corps commander. We've received Director Zalvex's report about your contributions to Station Asteria. Your success has opened doors for human medical practitioners throughout the Orion cluster. The Galactic Medical Council has requested human physicians for 6 additional stations. You've proven that even with our primitive technology, human medical knowledge has a place in the stars. Maya smiled as the message ended. She had come to Station Asteria expecting to be a student, learning from advanced alien physicians. Instead, she had become a teacher, showing them that technology alone wasn't the answer to every medical challenge. The human element, observation, intuition, adaptability, remained essential, even among the stars. As she prepared for sleep, Maya reflected on what they had accomplished. They had begun building a new kind of medicine, one that combined the best of human insight with the most advanced alien technology. It wasn't about which approach was superior, but about how they could complement each other to save lives across the galaxy. In the vast expanse of space, with its countless species and civilizations, humanity had found its place in the medical community of the stars. Not because they had the most advanced technology, but because they understood something fundamental about healing that transcended technology altogether, the connection between healer and patient, the art that complemented the science. That understanding, Maya realized as she drifted toward sleep, might be humanity's greatest contribution to the galaxy. The reminder that even in an age of incredible technology, the heart of medicine remained the same as it had been for thousands of years on Earth, one being helping another to heal.